Steno, I ask this jokingly, but also seriously. Has Josh Jacobs ever tried to fight a coach or trainer who tells him to take it easy and take a play off or something?
Yeah, Josh he's got a pretty intense demeanor about him. So if he's like, "I'm in," I'd be like, "Okay, I don't care what the trainer just said. You're in. Go." I wouldn't get in his way. But yeah, he's a guy that does everything he can to get out there for his team for sure.
Did you see enough to think that Jordan Morgan can be a left tackle in this league, or do you need to see more there?
I was very encouraged, by the snaps that I saw him out there playing on the edge for the preseason. I thought he did a good job. So I'd always want to see more, I guess. But yeah, I thought for what he did out there, he did a really nice job.
With all that you just said about Josh, at what point, because you need him to be at his best for your offense to be at his best, especially down the stretch this season. At what point is what's best for the team giving him a week off because you do have a really good backup behind him?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the fine line you always have to walk. You got to trust the training staff. You got to trust him as a player. And if something in your gut or whatever is telling you that, hey, maybe it's best for him to take the week off, then that's what you got to do. I think his situation is one of those it's going to take the entire week to kind of see how it all plays out and see how he's feeling. But yeah, we're just going to kind of take it one day at a time for now.
When is it in your mind when it's like, okay, you are one of our best players, we know your value, we know you want to play, but you can't right now?
Yeah, I think you just got to evaluate how they practice and then have a conversation with them, Saturday or Sunday, and just see how they're feeling. You know what I mean? That's especially a vet like him who's, played through a bunch of stuff. You kind of just got to let the week play out and see how it goes.
Steno, it would be great if you could take Fitz, Josh, and Luke and combine them into one guy, because then you'd have Tucker, right? How do you think you've done so far, and how much of a challenge is it to figure out how to get those pieces, because none of them are obviously Tucker?
Yeah, I mean, the playmaking ability that Tucker's shown to have is special. It really is, and that's one thing, that we're just trying to find in other ways, different guys stepping up, not necessarily in the tight end room, but in other areas, receivers, running backs, everybody with our offense. So I think to say that why aren't these guys like Tucker, I mean, I don't even think like that. It's just how can we put these guys in the best position for their skill set to be successful? And I think that's kind of one thing us as offensive coaches, we just need to keep doing a better job of, for sure. It's just getting those guys in the right positions to make impacts in the game. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of see how those guys keep progressing now that they're carrying more of the workload. To see 4 weeks from now, towards the end of the season, kind of what they're doing.
Steno, what were the strong points and what were kind of the areas of growth for Sean with his first game, first start?
Yeah, Sean did a good job for the most part. There was a couple snap issues that we had. Obviously, when you're the center, that has to be 0 snap issues every game. But he did a really good job competing. There were a couple, pass protection things where he got out of position. But I think for the most part, I was pleased with how he did, how he made calls, how he kind of got everyone on the same page and played with physicality. I thought he did a good job there.
Have you ever seen an NFL team go with the jumbo tight end and go 3 or even 4 wides, or is that just something that's not tenable with NFL, with the way the NFL is played?
You don't see it often, but you can definitely do it. Yeah, it's some things that, depending on who you have, yeah, you could definitely do things like that for sure.
Have you guys kicked around any ideas like that, or?
Well, yeah, we tried. If you remember the play versus the Eagles, we got an illegal formation where we hit Christian Watson on an explosive, and Kennard was in, and we had 3 wide receivers. So.
That was 3 wides?
Yep. So we've done that.
Back to the tight end position, blocking specifically, run game, passing game. Just how have you evaluated the body of work of those 3 over the last week or 2?
It's been good. It's been good. They're they play with physicality. They give everything they got. They're all kind of different players, you know, so you kind of use them in different roles. But no, I like what I'm seeing from them. I like what Wiley's been doing. I think he's an interesting guy that you know, I think as we keep going, he'll have a bigger part every week.
What Luke does best is quite a bit different than how you guys use Tucker. I mean, he's got the speed to go downfield, stretch the seam, and do all that. How difficult is it to make that much of an abrupt shift mid-season with your scheme to kind of accommodate that?
I think, yeah, it just depends, kind of, you know, on what the defense presents that you're playing. You know what I mean? But I think it's one thing we're pretty versatile as far as what we can do, so I don't think it's too big of a deal.
If you're not getting what you want out of your tight ends in the pass game, can you replicate it with a receiver instead of a tight end, or do you guys have to have a tight end in your offense?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is when you're putting your offense together, you always want to just have pieces in there where you can run or pass. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of times you take a tight end out of the game, now it's just a pass-happy, here we go, and you lose the element of the run game with it. So I think for us and kind of what we do, we like to have guys in there to kind of, you can present the defense, hey, we're going to do both. Now, in situational football, whether it's third downs or whatever, yeah, you can get into some other stuff and supplement that for sure. But kind of in your base, first and second down game plan, you want to just keep it as even as you can for the defense.
If it's third down and you're using the tight end, you know, separated from the line, do you usually get a linebacker then on the tight end, or do
It depends. You can usually get a safety or a linebacker, yeah, if they're in man coverage. If they're in zone, obviously they're just playing their zone coverage.
And if you used a wide receiver instead, you'd get another corner then. They'd go
Yeah,
right
they'll usually sub and match the personnel. Yeah.
So if you go 4 wides, is it a numbers thing, or because you're probably going to get matched with time, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be favorable to run against, even though you have 4 wides in there, or do you just not have enough numbers to block?
Well, yeah, it all depends on kind of what they're doing. If they play single high and they got 6 in the box, then, you know, you don't know. You're one short, I guess. But yeah, it all depends. But typically when if we went with no tight end of the game, it's more of a passing situation anyways, where it's third and longer.
All good?
Steno, I'm curious about something I was talking to Jordan today about. Sorry, we can't let you go that soon, right?
No, that's good. I'm just trying to give you the hook, I guess.
I was, you know, you were here when Favre was here, and then obviously you coached when Rodgers was here and when he was backing up.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like Jordan's got some of the Rodgers don't make mistakes and follow and then he's got a little bit of the gunslinger in him.
Yeah.
Like that throw to Tuck.
Yeah, he sure does.
So,
Yeah.
so how, as a coach, how do you kind of encourage that? Because sometimes some really good stuff can happen.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. That's it's always, you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth sometimes, where it's like, hey man, be smart with the ball. Then all of a sudden he just makes a crazy play where, you know, gives the guy a chance. And I think you have to be selective, obviously, when who am I throwing to? You know, that depends a lot. And also kind of the time of the game, like that Tuck throw. You're referring to the Cardinals game. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I was thinking about the one, was it at Pittsburgh, where he said he didn't know where it was going?
Oh, yeah,
and
that
he was
one. Yeah,
hoping
okay.
that happened?
Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of the fourth down. We hit Tuck on the corner. But yes, that one too. Yeah, I think it's just, you have to be smart. But again, like if you know it's one-on-one coverage and it's your guy, you got to have that trust too. So do you want to live in that world? No. But at times, you know, you got to make some plays and you got to trust your guys to come down with the ball.
And then just, what is it, Matt was telling us earlier in the week that he went to tell Malik he was in and he didn't think his heartbeat even increased.
Yeah.
What is it, like, there's teams that would kill to have a guy that they could count on in a situation like that. Just how comforting is it he's done it now time and time again.
Yeah, no, it's great. And he prepares, he's always a chill guy, but he just sits there in meetings and prepares and asks his questions and just kind of goes with the flow, and that's his personality. It's kind of odd sometimes to see that, from a football player, but he's cool. Cool hand Luke, and just like nothing rattles him. Hey, you're going in. All right, here we go. And just goes and does it and does a really good job. And I think, again, like all the guys rally around him, they respect that. They respect his work ethic and all that stuff. So it's been really cool to see.
Was he like that when he got here? Or because the way you just described him is kind of how Jordan is, right?
Yeah, totally.
As well. So
Yep.
If you picked that up at all from Jordan, was he kind of...
I think that's been his personality, because the moment, when he had to come in and play after his third week here or whatever, it never seemed too big for him. And I think as long as he feels prepared, I think he's just going to be confident and go out there and do what he does.
Are they pretty similarly wired guys in that way?
Yeah, I would say so. Just very even-keeled. Things don't get to them. They do a really nice job handling pressure.
Do you find it's hard, or you find that defenses have trouble when you switch to him and you go to that kind of read option stuff, that they haven't practiced it, right?
Yeah.
In most cases.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely can do some things. Not that Jordan can't run, but that's one of Malik's things that he can do pretty well is the quarterback run stuff. So I think that's a big deal for defenses for sure.
Do you think, like, you probably forced Minnesota and maybe even Detroit to think about it, but if you don't do it anymore, eventually nobody's going to think about it again.
Yeah, and that's one thing we always talk about, is getting him in there and doing some quarterback run stuff, or just different things you can do with Malik for sure.
And the downside to that is you're taking your really good quarterback off the
Yeah.
field.
Exactly. Right. That's
Knowing what high regard you hold Christian in, has he still surprised you with what he's been able to do in the 4 games since he got back? Like, really hit the ground running?
Not anymore. I would say the first couple weeks I was like, holy cow, it's like he hasn't missed a beat. But now, that we've seen him the last month, not that what he does doesn't surprise you every time he goes out there and plays and just makes plays, but yeah, it's been great. It's just been a shot in the arm to our offense and really been great.